The lobby doors stayed shut. I held my wedding bouquet, white roses turning brown at the edges. People whispered behind me, "Planner Amada, he's not here yet. He will come." It's been an hour. My phone rang again. I did not answer. A text popped up from an unknown number. "Ask your best friend where your groom is." The air felt thin. I tried to breathe, but my dress squeezed my ribs. Someone's child cried. The sound echoed like a siren in my head. I tasted metal, like blood, though I was not bleeding. I looked around for Bella. She was nowhere in sight. 5 years earlier, University of Lagos, room 3B. The dorm room smelled of instant noodles and lavender spray. Bella and I sat on the floor making flashcards for our final exam. "Amada, if I fail, hide me from my mother." "You won't fail." "I made you a cheat sheet." Bella laughs. "Twin flames, right? One brain, two heads. We shared everything. Food, clothes, big dreams. On hot nights, we climbed to the roof and counted planes. One day we'll ride one of those and never come back. First class seats, please." She called me sister. I called her Bell Pepper because she loved red peppers on every meal. When I got a scholarship, she threw me a tiny party with cupcakes from the campus shop. Bella raising cola bottle to Amanda the star. Me blushing. "Stop. It's just luck." "Luck my foot. You earn everything." That night she hugged me tight. I did not feel the stiffness in her arms. I only felt loved. I did not yet see the crack beginning in that hug. I never meant to win more than Bella. I was just working, the way I always had. Yet each small win lit a new spark in her eyes, bright but cold. It started the day the internship list went up. The campus lost power that afternoon, so we all crowded outside the admin block to see the notices taped to the wall. Sun hit the paper, and everyone squinted, fingers jumping line by line. Bella reading, marketing, law, petroleum. Oh, me, what? Chevron. It's you. Me, let me see. I leaned in, and there it was, my name beside a company that felt as far away as space. My stomach flipped. I laughed, then covered my mouth because it sounded too loud. Bella laughed too, but hers was thin, a metal sound. She hugged me. Her arms were stiff. Bella smiling wide. "Scholarship last year, now this. You're on fire, girl." Me, "We'll both get there." "Sure." Later that night, back in our dorm, she scrolled through her phone instead of quizzing me with flashcards like we planned. "You still up for study?" Bella shrugs. My brain's fried. "Go ahead without me." I read alone while her screen lit her face blue. She was quiet, but I heard her sigh, long and slow like air leaving a balloon. It made the room feel tight. Weeks passed. The internship turned into a real job offer after graduation. The HR email popped up while I was in the library. I gasped so loud a student hissed at me. I wanted to run and tell Bella first. But when I found her on the quad, she was laughing with 3 girls from our class. They stood under a yellow tree, petals falling on their hair. Me catching my breath. "Belle, guess what?" Bella turning. "What's that face?" Me. "They kept me. Full-time position after NYSC. Wow, that's big!" "Look at you, Miss CEO." She hugged me again, still stiff. I tried to ignore it. That evening she wanted to celebrate. We walked to a suya stand near the gate, got spicy meat on sticks, and sat on a low wall. Bella chewing. "You'll move to Lecky and forget us." Me, I can barely afford a single room in Yaba. Bella nudges me. "Sure, humble star." A man selling bracelets came by. Bella picked one, red beads that caught the streetlight. "Bella, for luck," she said, tying it on my wrist. It felt warm. I told myself the stiffness was gone, but new cracks showed. She borrowed my white dress for an awards dinner and brought it back with a coffee stain. She said sorry, but her eyes said, "It's only fabric." She teased me in front of classmates. Bella loud. "Amada, Miss Perfect GPA, when last did you sleep?" People laughed. I did too, though heat climbed my neck. Then David walked into our lives. He was in final year engineering, tall, soft voice, always smelling of clean soap. He bumped into me at a seminar and helped pick my scattered notes. David smiling, "You have neat handwriting." Me laughing, "Only when papers fly." We started meeting for lunch. When Bella joined, she cracked jokes that made him blush. She called him Sir Engineer and rolled her eyes if he spoke too long about machines. Days when I was late, I'd arrive to see them talking, heads close. When I reached them, Bella would sit back fast, like a door shutting. One evening she said, "Bella, he's nice. Careful though, quiet men hide storms." Me, "You think so?" Bella shrugs. "Just watch." Her words sat heavy, but David never showed any storm. Still, I saw Bella watching us. When he held my hand, her gaze followed like a shadow. 2 years after graduation, we were all in Lagos, chasing jobs. Bella sold ads for a radio station. I did finance work at the oil firm. Our schedules were crazy, but we kept one rule. Friday girls' night at our favorite rooftop lounge in Victoria Island. Fairy lights, cheap drafts, loud music, perfect spot to forget rent. One Friday, David asked to meet me there early. David texted, 8 p.m. sharp. Don't let Bella make you late. I laughed. He knew us well. Bella arrived before me for once in a bright red dress. Bella, I came early to surprise you. Me. Miracle. David showed up holding a small box. My heart kicked. He didn't wait. The DJ was spinning Afro beats. People shouted soccer scores on a wall screen. David stood, took my hand, and suddenly the whole rooftop turned quiet in my ears. David, voice shaking. Amada, you brighten my hours. Will you marry me? My mouth fell open. Bella squealed, phone in hand, camera pointed at us. Bella shouts, say yes, girl. A cheer rose around us. I said yes, of course yes, and David slid a silver ring onto my finger. Flashes popped. Bella moved like a blogger at a red carpet, getting every angle. She even stepped on a chair for a top view. Bella, epic. I'll tag you both. She hugged me long this time, soft as if the stiffness had melted. My eyes blurred with happy tears. I thought it was joy for me. We met for dress shopping. She picked styles, called me queen, swirled in gowns herself, and asked random strangers, which one screams perfect chief bridesmaid? Everyone adored her energy. But sometimes when she thought I wasn't looking, her eyes slid to my ring, lips pressed thin. One afternoon, she came by my flat with ice cream. We sat on the floor sorting invitation lists. Bella casual. You sure David wants kids soon? Oil work is crazy. Tired men grow distant. Me. We've talked. He's excited. Bella soft. Good. Just be sure. She spooned ice cream, eyes on hers, not mine. Later, she took my wedding planner notebook home to copy contacts. It returned with a page missing, my budget sheet. I shrugged. Maybe she lost it. Then came the bridal shower. She planned it big, hired a sax player, invited bloggers. Photos spread again, me in a satin robe, Bella kissing my cheek. Thousands liked, thousands cheered. Yet that night, I lay awake, replaying the kiss. My cheek had felt cold where her lips touched. Was I imagining things? 2 weeks before the ceremony, David changed. He missed menu tastings, answered my calls late. Me on phone. Everything okay? David tired. Work numbers are off. Sorry, love. He sounded far, like calling from a tunnel. I told Bella I was worried. Bella hugging me. Men panic before weddings. Relax. But one evening, I saw a text flash on her phone while she mixed cocktails in my kitchen. Same story. She didn't notice. It was from a number saved as D. I frowned. She locked the screen quick. Me. Who's D? Bella laughs. Station client. Deadlines. I believed her. She was my sister, right? 1 week left. David skipped our premarital class. The priest said we should talk. I tried. David said he was processing things. He wouldn't explain. I turned to Bella again. Bella stroking my hair. Trust him. Trust me. She smiled so warm I felt ashamed of doubt. On the rehearsal night, Bella filmed us at the church doorway. David smiled tight. I chalked it to stress. Bella camera rolling. Say hi to the fans. David mumbles, hi. She posted it with the caption, 2 hearts, 1 week away. Likes poured in. She sent me another link. Countdown to love. The world cheered. Only Bella and David knew the cheer was for a story already twisting in secret. I was in the bright center of the show, too dazzled to spot the shadows moving just behind me. At home, I asked David on the phone. Me. Did you ask Bella about loans? David paused. She only told me you seemed tense. Me. I'm fine. No loans. Okay, I just want you honest with me. I felt a flick of fear. Why would Bella plant that thought? I brushed it away like a stray lash. 2 days later, she phoned me at work. Bella? Girl, please don't get mad. I told David you've been flirting at the office. Me. What? A man from accounts hugged you too long at the copier. Someone recorded it. David should hear it from me, not strangers. My skin went cold. I remembered the hug. It was Adam thanking me for covering a deadline. It lasted 2 seconds. Bella, that's nothing. Bella worried tone. Online stories grow fast. I'm only shielding you. That evening, David's tone on the phone was brittle. David, I trust you, but be mindful. Me, Bella twists harmless things. She cares for you. I felt a door closing somewhere inside him. Bella's next seed came during brunch at a cafe painted pastel pink. She licked syrup from her fork, eyes wide with fake innocence. Do you ever doubt being a mom? Babies slow careers. I'll manage when it's time. Bella leaning in. David told me he worries you're unsure. Men notice. Sunlight hit her earrings. They flashed like tiny knives. I stirred my juice and said nothing. She kept the drip steady. Always concern, always just wanting to help. Lies hid in caring tone like needles wrapped in cotton. Bella wasn't alone. She recruited friends. At a group dinner, she raised her glass. Bella teasing. Amada says she'll keep her last name after marriage. What does everyone think? I stared at her. I had never said that. Murmurs rose. David shifted, eyes on his plate. Later, I asked Bella, outside the restaurant, wind tugging at our dresses. Me, why did you lie? Bella shrugging. Thought it would spark fun debate. She smiled. I saw a gleam of victory, quick as a match flare. Meanwhile, she sent David screenshots. They looked like messages from me. Talk about secret bank accounts, panic about having kids, complaints that he was boring. The grammar wasn't mine. Asked the emojis wrong, but the phone number was. David voiced tight on call. Did you mean it when you wrote marriage is a cage? Me? I never wrote that. David? I saw it. I begged him to forward the chat. He said his phone crashed and the images vanished. Bella's timing was perfect. She also played both sides. To me, she acted wounded. David began to speak in half sentences, to hold his phone like a shield. One night we met for dinner at a quiet bistro. Candlelight painted soft circles on the table, but the air between us was hard. David, you paid, what, $200,000 for flowers? Me? No. Where did that come from? David sigh. Bella showed me a vendor invoice. I pulled up the real spreadsheet on my phone. The number was 1/4 of that. He frowned, confused, but doubt stayed. I thought proof would fix things. It didn't. Lies root deeper than facts. A week later, he skipped our dance lesson. I found him outside the studio, sitting in his car with Bella. When he saw me, he climbed out fast. Me, voice shaking. Why are you here with her? David. She had documents to give me. Bella stepping out, sweet smile. Just saving the day. I wanted to scream, but people stared. I swallowed heat like boiled water. That night, rain hammered the roof. David paced the living room. David, are you being straight with me? Me? Yes, always. Then why do I hear new stories every day? From Bella? She says she only repeats what others say. He rubbed his neck. The skin there looked raw. I typed long messages to Bella. Tell me exactly what you've told David. She replied with voice notes, all tears and shaky breaths. Bella voice note, I never wanted to hurt you. Rumors would break him worse if they came from the street. I filter them. Filter like poison poured through gauze. At work, my mind drifted. Reports piled up. Girls' night arrived again. I almost canceled, but habit dragged me. The lounge lights were too bright. Laughter felt sharp. Bella hugged me. Bella whisper, things will clear soon. She ordered shots for the table. She toasted to fresh starts, glanced at David's empty chair. Everyone cheered. I drank but tasted ash. Halfway through, Bella's phone buzzed. She frowned, then smiled secret. Me, who's that? Bella quick, radio client. I tried to grab her phone playfully. She yanked it away, laughing too loud. A strange chill slid down my back. The next morning, I opened our wedding email inbox. A message flashed. Vendor payment declined. Bella handled that transfer last week. I called her. Me, why is the florist unpaid? Bank glitch. I'll resend. Late fees doubled. My savings thinned. David blamed me. David, you said you had the bills sorted. Me, Bella handled it. You trust her too much. His words hit like a slap. He didn't see the cruel irony. More missed calls, more cold shoulders. One afternoon, I visited her office without warning. The receptionist pointed me to a glass meeting room. Bella sat inside, facing David. They were close, heads bent over papers. His hand touched hers. My chest tightened. I stepped back before they saw me and left. On the sidewalk, I gasped at the harm of seeing that simple touch. I called David. Me quiet. Were you with Bella today? David flat. Yes, she helped me check vendors. Me, you didn't tell me. You've been busy. That night, I searched Bella's name on my laptop, scrolled through our decade of photos. In every frame, she leaned into me like a mirror. I clicked the newest video, the proposal. Behind my joy, I saw her grin again, saw how her eyes never left the ring. The termites chewed louder. I could almost hear wood cracking. 2 weeks before the wedding, David moved out to think. Bella called me minutes after. Bella soft, he'll come back to you. Let him breathe. Her voice held a hidden smile. I felt it even through the phone static. Bella visited with takeout. Bella setting food down. Eat. You look pale. Me hard when life tips. Bella stroking my hair. I'm here. Her touch felt like ice sliding on skin. I smiled out of habit, but inside a small fire started, fueled by Tayo's coming proof. Still, the wedding date stayed fixed. Guests booked flights. My father paid the band deposit. The machine of marriage rolled on, even as its engine groaned. I prayed, "Please reveal what hides in shadows." The answer was coming, riding on code and truth. I didn't know yet how loud it would crash, or who would be left standing when it did. Thursday evening, 2 days before the vows, I sat on my couch folding ribbon place cards. The apartment was quiet except for soft rain on the window. My eyes felt sandy, but the task kept my hands busy and my mind from spinning. Bella knocked. I almost told her to come back later, but habit won. She stepped in, soaked, mascara streaked like black rivers. Bella, voice shaking. "Amada, I did something bad." Me tense. "What now?" "Bella, David needed the truth. I showed him proof you've been unfaithful." The ribbons slipped from my fingers. Me. "What proof?" Bella, pulling out her phone. "Screenshots. Messages you sent to some guy called Luke. You said you love him. That you're marrying David for money." She thrust the screen close. I saw my name, my photo, cruel words I never wrote. The chat bubbles were green like mine, time-stamped last week. My mouth went dry. Me whisper, "These are fake." Bella sobbing, "I prayed they were." But David demanded answers. "He's on his way here." My heart banged against my ribs. Thunder rumbled outside as if on cue. Minutes later, David arrived, clothes drenched. He carried an envelope, edges curling with wet. David flat. Why? He tossed photos on the coffee table. Printouts of the same chat, bank slips that showed money transfers to a man's account, pictures of me hugging Adam at the office copier. Me? These are lies. Bella, tell him. Bella, eyes wide. I only showed what I found. David cold. Explain the cash. I stared at the slips, numbers I had never seen. My head spun. Forgery. Someone wants to ruin us. David, who would gain from that? His gaze flicked to Bella, then back to me. He wanted to believe. I could see it, but the pile of false evidence sat like bricks on his hope. Me. Check the account. The bank can trace the owner. After the wedding? With guests flying in? I can't walk into this with doubt. Rain hammered the roof louder. Bella stood between us, shaking, but her tears held no tears. Only sound. Bella soft. Maybe pause the ceremony? Clear the air first? Pause. The word slid into the room like a blade. Me to David. We built this together. One rumor and you fold? David hurt. It's not one rumor, Amada. It's a storm. His voice cracked. Mine did too. I reached for him. He stepped back. David, I need space tonight. I'll think. He left, door slamming so hard the place cards scattered over the floor. Bella knelt to pick them up. Bella whisper, "I'm sorry." Me empty. Get out. She went, leaving the smell of wet fabric and fake sorrow behind. I sank to the floor. My phone buzzed with vendor calls. I ignored them, staring at the forged chats. My name looked guilty in that green bubble, screaming things my heart never thought. Lightning flashed. For a second, the room lit bright, and in that flash, I pictured Bella's grin the night of the proposal. How wide it was. How cold. I crawled to my desk, opened my laptop, messaged Tayo. Me. Urgent. Need you to trace new fake chats. He replied at once. On it. Don't act yet. But my world was already acting without me. Stage lights blazing, scripts rewritten in secret hands. I did not sleep. I sat in my wedding gown's tulle skirt laid over the sofa like a ghost, watching dawn leak gray across the sky, hearing only David's question, why? And knowing the answer sat inside Bella's jealous heart, wrapped in friendly smiles. Saturday morning, the sun returned, bright and cruel. I dressed in silence while Ruth zipped my gown. My mother pinned the veil, her eyes were red. The church hotel lobby buzzed, florists fixing arches, ushers lining seats. I clutched the bouquet, petals pure white, heart pure chaos. David was late. 10 minutes, 20, 40. Whispers rose like smoke. Planner Marie hushed. Maybe traffic. Me numb. He drives a bike on wedding days. I searched for Bella. She stood near the entrance, phone glued to her ear, whispering, nodding, pacing. Me calling Bella. She jumped, came over, face painted with worry. Bella. David's not picking. I'm trying. Me, when did you last see him? Last night, after he dropped you. She avoided my gaze. A message pinged my phone. From unknown. Stop waiting. He left with the truth. My knees buckled. Ruth held my elbow. Ruth, sit. I sat on a chair meant for photo props. The bouquet trembled in my grip. Marie hurried back, whispering. Marie, guests restless. Family asking. Voices surged behind the doors. People coughing, children giggling, organist filling silence with soft chords. At exactly 1 hour past start time, Pastor Michael walked in, face grave. "Amada, can we speak?" He led me to a side room. My father and mother stood there. Bella followed, wringing her hands. On a small table lay David's ring. Pastor gentle. "David phoned. He's decided to postpone until matters clear." Me hoarse. "Postpone or cancel?" Father voice stern. He said postpone. Mother wept. I reached for the ring. Metal cold bit my skin. My veil slipped forward, a curtain of white tears. Bella soft. "I'm here for you." She hugged me, arms tight, almost eager. I smelled her perfume, sharp and sweet like overripe fruit. Me into her shoulder, low. "Was it you?" Bella, tiny laugh. "Time for that later." No David. I rose, veil dragging, and pushed out a side door into the staff parking lot. Sun blazed off windshields. And there, by the gate, I saw David's black sedan. He sat in the driver's seat. Bella leaned through the open window, hand on his arm. They were speaking close, too close, both faces tight with urgent emotion. Then Bella opened the passenger door, slid in, closed it. The car eased forward, turned out of the lot, and disappeared into city traffic. My phone buzzed. A message from Tayo. "Evidence ready. Meet me ASAP." I stared at the screen, thoughts crawling. I turned to Tayo. "Me. Show me everything." He passed me a tablet. Blue lines of code, IP addresses, timestamps, all pointing to Bella's laptop, Bella's phone. Forgeries traced step by step. Bank slips made with a template. Even a clip of Bella's voice practicing my tone for fake voice notes. I pressed play. Her voice, mocking mine. Bella's recording laugh. "David is just a step to better things." My fingers tightened on the device. "Tayo, this will clear you." But proof alone would not mend the mess. I needed David to hear it from me, face to face, before Bella rewrote yet another chapter. I called him. Straight to voicemail. I texted, "Meet me. I have evidence." No reply. David finally answered around noon. His voice sounded dull, scraped thin. "David, what's left to say?" Me, "The truth. Meet me at Bayview Cafe in 30 minutes. If I'm lying, you can walk away forever." A pause, then a sigh. 30. I texted Bella too. "Need you and David at Bayview." News outlets sniffing. "Come help me clean up." I knew she'd come. Saving face mattered to her more than anything. Tayo and I reached first. He set up near a corner window, laptop open, printer ready for round 2. I sat at a small table, ordered 3 bottles of water, and waited. David arrived next, eyes ringed with sleepless gray. He didn't sit, just hovered, hands in pockets. Bella swept in last, bright red dress pressed, makeup fresh, not a trace of guilt on her smile. Bella to David. "Are you okay?" David quiet, "Let's hear her." I slid a thick folder across the table. Me, timeline of every lie, from doctored chats to fake invoices. Each page links back to your laptop or Bella's devices. Bella's smile tightened but still held. Bella's soft laugh. "She's desperate, David. Fabricated these overnight." I picked up my phone, tapped the video. Bella's own face filled the screen, mocking voice clear over the cafe music. When the clip ended, I placed the phone between us. Bella's cheeks lost color. Bella hoarse. "Deep fake. Anyone can..." Tayo from Window Desk. "It's original metadata. Recorded on your phone, 3:14 a.m. Wednesday. GPS tag, your flat." He turned his laptop so they could see the coordinates. David sank into the chair opposite me, elbows on knees. He stared at Bella. David soft, broken. "Why?" Bella opened her mouth, closed it. Tears welled up, but not a single one fell. Bella whisper, "You always looked at her like the sun." No one ever looked at me that way. Her words felt small, brittle. The jealousy she had wrapped in charm now hung exposed, ugly and trembling. "Milo, you could have asked for light instead of stealing mine." Silence filled the cafe, thick as smoke. A waiter cleared his throat in the distance. Cups clinked. Ding. David reached for my hand but stopped halfway, unsure if he had the right. I pulled it back gently. Me. Trust is glass. It can't be unshattered. Bella wiped her eyes, stood, and walked to the exit without another word. None of us stopped her. The door closed behind her, and with it the last draft of her story. 3 months later, the wedding hall deposit never returned, but I sold the gown online to cover most costs. My parents' disappointment hurt hardest the first week. My mother's sighs, my father's tight jaw. Yet they chose me over lost pride, and that love kept me upright. David tried, many times. Flowers, long emails, a letter handwritten on crisp bond paper. I was foolish. I let noise drown your voice. Let me rebuild what I broke. I met him for coffee once. We talked for hours about fear, ego, how lies thrive when trust is thin. We laughed at old campus memories and cried at the ruins left behind. When the cafe closed at dusk, he asked if we could start again. I said no, not from anger, but from wisdom. Some roads, once cracked, lead only in circles. David Soft, I'll be cheering you wherever I stand. Me, thank you. And heal well. He walked into twilight, shoulders lighter without the ring he once carried. I watched until traffic swallowed him, then breathed in, free. The nonprofit back in my flat, the bouquet smell had faded. In its place grew a new idea, a space for girls who might face the same hidden daggers. I called it Clear Voices Initiative. We rented a 2-room office near Yaba. Every Saturday, 20 girls from nearby schools came to learn coding basics, digital privacy, and simple truth-detecting skills. How to verify screenshots, how to read email headers, how to guard their own stories. On the first day, I stood in front wearing jeans and a plain tee. No dress, no veil, no weight of someone else's lies. Meet a class. People will tell you who you are. Keep receipts of who you choose to be. They giggled, tapped keyboards, and asked sharp questions about metadata. Watching them build games with bright eyes felt better than any aisle lined with lilies. Tayo volunteered as mentor. Ruth ran social media. Donations trickled in after a local blog covered my almost wedding drama with the headline, Bride Turns Betrayal into Blueprint for Girls' Safety. Bella's silence. Bella vanished from our circle. Rumor said she quit the radio station and moved to Abuja. Another story claimed she signed a PR contract in Accra. I never chased the truth. My chapter with her had closed like a slammed book. Yet one evening, an envelope arrived at my office. No return address. Inside lay the red bead bracelet she had once tied on my wrist under the suya stand light years back. A note on plain paper carried only 3 words. I was wrong. I slid the note into a desk drawer, bead bracelet atop it. Some lessons sit best in quiet shadows. Choosing my own ending. On the day that would have marked our first wedding anniversary, I woke before dawn and walked to 3rd Mainland Bridge. The city shimmered, lights winking like shy stars. I leaned on the railing, wind lifting my braids. I thought about every step that brought me here. The dorm room smell of instant noodles, the rooftop proposal cheers, the church whispers, the cafe confrontation. All of it formed a rough path, but it led to this present breath, steady and alive. I took out my phone, opened a blank note, and typed a line I hoped my future self would read on tough days. Pain reveals, but purpose heals. Then I tucked the phone away, stretched my arms, and watched sunrise color the lagoon gold. A final word to you. If you ever stand with a wilted bouquet, remember, petals fall, but roots can grow fresh blooms. Keep your proof, keep your voice, keep your mirrors clear of other people's cracks. I share this not to warn you off friendship. Sisterhood saved me too. Ruth's steady arm, Tayo's code, my mother's tears that turned to prayers. These held me when vows collapsed. I share it so you know how to check the locks on your trust, how to look love in the eye and say, show me your hands. And if lies ever circle you dressed as concern, step back, breathe, and call them what they are. Truth may sting, but it never stains. As I close this tale, the girls downstairs shout over a small coding bug, laughter bouncing off thin walls. I smile, walk to join them, and let their bright voices flood the room, clear, strong, and unmistakably their own.